Hi there! In today's video, I will create my own custom content management system / website builder for this website. Now, this is just a free template from html5up.net. I didn't make this myself. I'm not that good. It is a solid state template if you want to use it. Now, this is of course just a static HTML page. So here we have the HTML. And then of course there's some CSS in here too. But now, I would like to make it so that I can edit this page without editing the HTML. So imagine that I had created this website for a customer and now I wanted the customer to be able to edit the website. Like if they want to change this heading here, they can click and they can write a new heading, or they want to change this text here or this image, or they want to add one more of these sections here or something like this. Now, this is probably going to be a multi-part series because I don't think I can do all of this in one video. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss when I post the next video. But let's get started. So the way I want to do this is first I want to create PHP classes of all of these different elements that we have here on the page. So we have the header, we have the menu, we have the banner, and then in the wrapper we have these different kind of sections, and then this one big section that has all these articles. And then we have a footer which actually has a form and then some contact information. So first I will create separate PHP classes out of all of these different elements so that I can render the page from the PHP classes. And once I get that done, then I will make it so that I can convert those PHP classes into JSON objects and then save them in a database. And then I will make it so that I can take the JSON object and convert it back into a PHP object. And then I can render the page based on what is in the database. Sounds pretty simple, so let's get started. Now, I have created here a little bit of a folder structure already. So I have a public folder which is empty and a source folder which is empty. And I have a templates folder which has the solid state template and all of its assets. So first of all, let me create just an index.php here in the public folder. So let me start a web server here. I will cd into the public folder and I will start the PHP server. So now if I go to localhost 8080, I have a blank page. And now I will copy all of this code from the solid state index.html and I will put it here in the index.php. And now actually I need all of these assets from here too, so I will just copy them over into the public folder. And then I will go here to the index.php, close all these files. So now if I refresh this page, hopefully I have the page. Yes, that is perfect. So now let's start with the header. So how would I make a header class? What does the header have? The header has the h1 text and the menu text. So let me create a new file here in the source folder. Let's call it header.php. And I will create a constructor. And here I will take a private string heading and a private string menu name. And I will create getters for those. Alright, so now I can create a header with a heading and a menu name. And now I want to be able to render it. So let me create a render method. And inside the render, I need to print out this. Now, I think that I want to create a separate file for all of these templates so that I don't have to change the source code to change the template. So let me create here in the templates / solid state a new folder, which will be called elements. And in here, I will create a new file that will be called header.html. And I will paste this here. And then I will add some kind of placeholders here for these things that we want to change. So let's add here heading and menu name. Okay. And then here I will get the contents of that file. So let's say template will be file get contents. Like this. But now I don't want to hard code this solid state because perhaps in the future I will use other templates as well and they will have a header as well. So maybe I can reuse this code. So I'll create this getTheme method. I'll put just solid state here at the moment. And then I want to replace the placeholders. And then I will return it. So now if I go back to index.php and instead of this, I will just add some PHP code here and I will say header is new header. And I will give it the heading, which will be solid state. And I will give it the menu name, which will be menu. And then I will say echo header render. Now I have to load this file, so let's use Composer this time to load this. I think now I got the hang of Composer already. So alright, now we should have a composer.json here. Now it put this namespace here for us. I guess we could use that namespace. And I will put it in the index as well. So now, if I didn't make any mistakes, which I almost made because I have to say composer dump autoload, I guess. So if I now go back here and I refresh this page, it should look exactly the same, which it doesn't because I don't have the menu here. So something went wrong. Let's see, is there any errors? No. How about in server? Nope. What is wrong? I have the wrong path here. It should be elements / and I wonder why I did not get an error. Let's try this again. Refresh. Okay, now we have the menu here again and it works just as before. Now, just to make sure that this actually works, let me change here this to something else. And now if we refresh, we see the menu, and when I scroll down, here I have something else. Great, so now it works. So let's make the next element, which is the menu. So I will copy the menu and I will create a new file. And I will paste this in here. And now what do we have in the menu? Well, we have this H2 element here. Now I'm not sure if I have to be able to change this, but let's do it anyway. So let's call it menu title. And then we have the links. Now the links should all be bunched up into one item. So let's put here menu links. And let's do the close text. And then let's copy our header and create another file. And here I will change this to menu.html. And in the menu.html, I had the menu title, menu links, and close title, close text. So let's take those in the constructor. And first let's change this to menu. And I lost power for a second. Hopefully everything still works. And here we should take the menu title. Now, I don't have to call it menu title, I just call it title because it's a menu object, which will be an array. And we will have a private string close text. And I'll create this, get title, get links, and get close text. And this will be an array. And then here I will replace those. Now, of course, we don't just get the links like this because it will be an array, so we can't just string replace it. So I will replace this with this render links, and I will create that function. And in this function, I will first get the links, and then I will say rendered is an empty string, and for each of the links, I render it into that string. And let me see how that was done over here. It's just a link and a list item. So then I will have the link be an associative array with a URL and link name, or just name, or just text. And then I will return the rendered link list. Now I should probably add some protections over here. Okay, now we have some XSS protection here. So now let's go back to the index.php and add here menu equals new menu. And we will give it the title, which will be menu, and links, which will be an array with URL index.html and text front page. And let's add a couple more links. Let's add the generic page and the elements. And then we have to add the close text, which will be close. Now I will move this on its own line. So now this should work as well. So if I remove this and I go back here and I refresh this page and I click here, I have nothing. So what did I do wrong? I did not render it. I am stupid. Refresh and click here. And now I have front page, generic and elements. Great. And I think I can change the menu, the title. So if I refresh it and I click here, now it's the menu. Great. Let's move on to the next one. Then we have the banner. Let's copy the banner, create a new file, add the placeholders, and then create the class. And if we create that again, banner is new banner. Heading is this is cool, and text is this is a very cool website. And then we echo banner render. And we go back here and we refresh. This is cool. This is a very cool website. Great. Then we have this wrapper here. Now in this wrapper we have these sections. And now these have a different ID, each of these, but I think the ID doesn't matter in the styling. Let me check that first, because I think only the class will change it. So there's style 1 and style 2 and spotlight and alt. Let's see what this happens if I remove the IDs. Yeah, it's still fine. So how do we do this? What is spotlight? These all have spotlight except 4. I guess this is 4. What if I add spotlight here? What does this do? Okay, I cannot do that. So this is a different kind of a thing. And what is alt? If I remove alt. Okay, so alt will flip it the other way. The tilt will be the other way if you have alt. Okay, so let's copy this and create another file. Let's call it spotlight. And in the spotlight, we should have a placeholder for the style. So let's put style here. And we should have a placeholder for the image and a placeholder for the title and for the text and for the learn more link text actually. And here we have to have the link URL. So let's create another PHP class. And we had here title, text, and link URL and style. Okay, so style will be an integer. Or perhaps let's have it a string if we want to have our own classes. Style and an image and a title, text, link URL and link text. And then I will make these getters. And then we will have the element as spotlight, and here we have to replace everything. Alright, that should do it. And then we have to go back to the index.php and let's replace the first section with that one. So section is new spotlight and style is style 1 and image is, let's use that, images/pic01. And title will be, this is a title. Text, this is some sample text. Link URL will be this, and link text will be click here now. And then we will render it. And let's get rid of this one and refresh our page. We have some kind of error. I made a mistake. This is a title, this is some sample text, click here now. So it works, that's great. And then if we want to have more of these, then we need to change the style to be style 2. And actually we need to add the alt in there as well. So maybe I'll rename this to class. And then I can class. So now I can just say this will be alt style 2. Let's just add 2 here and 2 here. And let's refresh. And it almost worked. Now, is the image on the other side in this one? No, it's exactly the same. Oh, I think the problem is that I didn't remove this 2 here. So this is actually, no, that's not the case. Oh, I need to change it in here as well, class. Okay, now it works great. And then let's add that third one as well. So copy this code, and now we need to remove the alt and have the style 1. And let me copy this text from here. And now if I refresh this page, this will look exactly the same, except there's click here now because I use the same text. Let me change this to third spotlight. Yay. Great. So now those are done. What is next? Now we have a little bit more complicated of a thing here. Now let's take a look at this. So here we have like a heading and a text, and then we have this section of the features, and then there we have articles. So how should I do this one? I think if I remove the features here, then it will be just the same as these ones. But it's a different color. Why is it a different color? Because it's not spotlight. So if I say spotlight, then it will be very weird. So what is the difference between these two? Wrapper spotlight and the style. Wrapper alt style. Okay, there is a content class in here, but there's no content class in here. So what should we name this then? Let's call it something like article block. So let me copy this and let me create a new file again. Article block.html. So here I will have again a title, and I will have a text. And then this is going to be a list of articles. So I will just call it articles. And this will be link text, and this will be link URL. And we need another class. So here again we will have an array of articles that will be included in this article block. And I need to do this, and articles will be this render articles. And then I have to create that one. So here what I'm doing is I'm looping through all the articles, which will be article objects. I will create that class next. And then for each of those objects, we will render them and add them to the rendered string. And then just return the rendered list of articles. And this will be article block. And then I have to create the actual article. And I need to get the code for an article. And an article will have an image and a title and a text and a link text and a link URL. And here we will create the article class. And it will look something like this. So now we should be able to create an article. So let's say first, articles is an array in which we will create a new article that will have an image, which will be this, and title, which will be article title, and text will be some text goes here, and we will have a link URL and a link text. And let's make a couple of these articles. And then let's say article block is new article block. And it will have a title of the articles and a text, here's some articles. And then the articles will be articles and link URL and link text. And then we will render it. So let's see what happens now. If I go here and I refresh, I will have here the articles. Here, some articles. And then we have an image, article title, some text goes here, click here. And we have that a few times. Great. So now that works as well. And let's make the get in touch section next. So what are we going to have here? This is a footer. So let's create a footer. And in the footer we are going to have a heading, or should I say footing, and we will have a text. And then we will have a form. Now I might want to add forms in other places too. So let me just say there is a form. And then we have the contact information, which will have the address. And then we have phone number, email, Twitter, Facebook. Let's do this just one by one for now. So let's have this phone, and this be the email, and this is going to be Twitter, and this is going to be Facebook, and this is going to be Instagram. Now I might want to have like these as separate objects, like a footer link, and then I could set a type for the footer link to be either envelope or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. But let's do this for now, otherwise this video will be 15 hours long. And then we are going to have the copyright here. So let's add that here. Great, and then let me create the class for this. And in fact, I will do this so that it will have an array of links. And then instead of having Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, I will just say this will be links. And I will have a private string copyright. And now I have to render the links. So let's say links is this render link. And I will create it here. And again, these will be link objects, which will have a type and a text. And then the form will be, I made the form optional up here. So I will say form is empty. If is set this form, then form is this get form render. And let me create the link class. Let's call it footer link. And when we render this footer link, I think I don't need a template for this. I will just put it here. But I need to take this So the type will be, so I will just say this type, and then this will be the text, so this link name, and here will be the link URL. And sorry, I won't echo, I will just return, and here I will say get footer links, and it will return footer link array. And then I have to create the form, so a form class. Now I think the form was a bit complicated, so I might not do this as a template. I will have to manually make all of this. So let's create a form class. And here in the form class, we will set a namespace. And we should get the form fields in the constructor. Or perhaps I will make another method for that. So I will say public function add field. And this will get form field. And it will say this fields, push this field into the fields. And let's set the fields here. It's an array, and perhaps we should call it a protected array. And we should have a public function render. And it will return something. So first it will do this, and the action should be gotten from this action. And let's have it here. Let's take this in the constructor. So private or protected string action. And let's end this tag. And we will have a button. So this will be in the bottom of this. And this will be this submit text. And let's get that here. And then we will loop through all of the fields that have been added to this form. I have some mistake somewhere because the color is weird. Maybe it's because of this. Nope. I have no idea why I have this problem. Anyway, I will loop through this fields as field, and then I will say rendered dot equals field render. And then in the end I will say return rendered. And perhaps when I save this I will get rid of all the errors. I don't. Unexpected protected. Sorry, this should be inside here. And what is the problem with this? This I don't understand. Ah, string. Okay, that solves it. So when we render a form, we start the form tag and set the action, and then we loop through all the form fields and we render all the form fields. And then we add the submit button in the bottom. I don't know how to make this pretty, but anyway, it will add the submit button, and then it will end the form tag, and then return the rendered form. And now we have to create a form field element object class. So let's do that. And in the constructor of form field, we should set a type for it, and we should set a label for it, at least that. So protected string type, protected string label. And then we should have a public function render. And now let's go back here and see how it is supposed to be rendered. So rendered will be div class field. That's how it starts. And it ends with /div. And then we're going to have a label there. So we will have a label, And in the label we will have this label. And let's do some protection here again. And we should have an ID, but I don't want to set the ID, at least for now. I just want to generate the ID. So let's say ID. And let's say ID is string to lower this label. And let's do preg replace everything that is not from A to Z or underscore will be replaced with nothing. And then we have to actually create the element. Now, I should probably add another element for the regular text input and another element, class for the text area. But for now, I will just put an if statement here. If this type is a text area, then we will do it this way. Otherwise, we will do it as an input. So we will do this, and I will just use type text for everything. And name will be the same as ID, and ID will be ID. And with the text area, it will be pretty similar. ID like this, and that's it. And I can remove this, and then I will return rendered. So that should work now. Do I have something else here? Address. Now the address has multiple lines, so not sure how I should do that. But now let's try to get this footer with the form rendered, and then that will be the end of this video. And in the next video, I will continue this by saving all the objects into the database. But now, how do we create the footer? We need to say footer is new footer. Heading will be get in touch. Text will be you can get in touch by the form below. And address will be address line 1 and address line 2. And we will have phone, and we will have an email. And then we will have the links, which I will create soon. And copyright will be, did I include the copyright sign there already? Yes, so I don't have to add this here. I'll just say my company limited. And form will be form, which I will create now. And I have to echo footer render. And then I have to create the links. So links will be an array. And in the array we have a new footer link, which will have a type of Facebook and a URL of facebook.com and a link name our Facebook page. And let's add Twitter as well. And then form will be new form. And what do we have in the form? Action and submit text. So action will be whatever, just put it slash there. And submit text will be submit form. And then we will add a field to the form. Form add field, new field, form field. And in here we will have a type and a label. So type will be text, label will be name. And we will add a couple more. We will add an email, and we will add a text area, which will be message. So that should now render it. So if I remove the original footer from here, wait a minute, here, and I'll have the links, I will have the form, and then I will create the footer. Let's see if it works. Refresh, it almost works. We have get in touch, you can get in touch by the form below, and submit form, and we have address line, phone, email, Facebook, Twitter. Yes, but the form is nowhere to be seen. So what did we do wrong? fields, form field, rendered. Now, why am I not getting errors? I should get an error from that. Now we have a form, but it looks a bit weird. Let's go back here and see what the form actually looked like. We should have a fields div in there first. So I will go back to form and I will add here fields. And here I have to end that div. And now if I refresh, it still looks bad. I forgot here dot equals. So it didn't take any of the labels or the start of the field tag. So refresh. And now we have a beautiful form here with name, email, and message. That's great. And a submit form. And here we have My Company Limited. So now we have this web page in which we can change the menu and all the texts and the heading and this text over here and these sections here and these articles and this form and these address details here. Now I should add the new line over here. Let's do that. Let's do new line to line break. And if I refresh, then now we have the address on 2 lines. So now we have, instead of a static HTML page, we have this PHP class powered page where we can add items with PHP and then it will be rendered on the page. Now this will be the end of today's video, and in the next video I will continue this so that I can save all of these PHP objects into a database, and then I will fetch them from the database so that I can render the page based on what is in the database. And then probably the next video will be the actual editor where I can edit the contents in like a what you see is what you get kind of way and then save it. And I need to add pages as well and all kinds of stuff. So if you find these kind of videos interesting, please subscribe to my channel and you will get more of them in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.